We'll delve the deepest, darkest tomb. We are the brave companions. We'll brave the ancient forest gloom. We are the brave companions. We'll slay the lich within his lair. We are the brave companions. Rid the world of aim and flare. We are the brave companions. With sword and bow and spell and prayer.
Greetings. Welcome to Saga of the Brave Companions, Episode 1. I'm Cody, Dungeon Master. We're going to be playing the Pathfinder role-playing game Beginner Box. And it's going to be kind of a social experiment. We're going to play it over YouTube. Now, I've already got my players selected. So if you are one of those players, you know who you are, please just hang with me for a minute because I want to talk to everybody else. So if you have just come to this randomly through the magic of a search engine or randomly clicking stuff or just typing in a URL off the top of your head, well, I want to tell you two things. First of all, we're going to be playing through the adventure that comes with this box set. So if you think that you might be playing that in the future, then you probably don't want to watch these videos because they're going to spoil it and they're going to ruin it for you. Number two, if you have already played this adventure or if you've read this adventure, please don't post any spoilers in the comments because my players are going to be using the comment field to tell me what they want to do, and so I don't want to have to go through and delete all your comments because you posted spoilers in the comments. So appreciate that. Okay, so everybody, let's see. This video I'm going to talk about the rules to Pathfinder for just a little bit. Now this is the beginner box, so it's sort of a streamlined version of the game, so there's not a whole lot to it, so that shouldn't take very long. I'm just going to go over some of the basics, and then I'm going to go over each of the characters, the pre-generated characters that we're going to select from, and then finally I'm going to roll for each of you to determine which order we're going to select characters for. So at the end of this video we should have a ordered list of who can select when, and then in the comments to this video you're going to tell me which character that you want to play. Then the next video will be kind of an introduction to the adventure, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, let's go over a few of the rules to the Pathfinder role-playing game Beginner Box. So the basic mechanic of Pathfinder and all basic Dungeons and Dragons is that you're going to take a d20 when you want to do something. You're going to take a d20, you're going to roll it, you're going to add some type of modifier to that, and then you're going to try to get above either a number called the difficulty class, or if you're trying to hit something, you're going to try to get above the armor class of the enemy. Now you're going to get one of these cool beginner character sheets that will show you most stuff, but let's see, some examples would be if you're rolling for initiative, basically to see who goes first, then you're gonna take your initiative modifier, which in this case is +6. You're gonna roll a d20, which I rolled a 15. You're gonna add a 6, so you're gonna get 21. Initiative. So when a fight breaks out, initiative is we're gonna all roll initiative, and then we're gonna start with the highest and then go down, and each person's gonna take their turn. Let's see some more examples. They're going to be like attacking. You're going to do melee attack. You're going to roll your melee attack value. You know, roll a d20 and add your melee attack. Try to get over the armor class. Same with ranged. Saving throws, similar thing. You're going to have. Let's see where the saving throws on here. Like right here. You're going to have some bonuses, and then you're going to roll a d20, add a bonus, and try to get over. Try to get over the whatever the difficulty class is that you're trying to roll. So that's basically the basic mechanic. So as I mentioned before, when a fight breaks out, we're going to roll initiative. Then starting with the highest initiative and going down, everybody's going to take your turn. On your turn, you're going to there's actually 3 types of actions you're going to take on your turn. The first type is a free action. You can take as many of these on your turn as you'd like. Basically, free actions are like talking. If you want to yell something. You could drop a weapon. That's a free action. You can take a 5-foot step. So each square is 5 feet. So if you wanted to just take a step or a step back, maybe you wanted to shoot a melee. You wanted to shoot a ranged weapon. You could take a step back so that you could shoot that, because you cannot shoot ranged weapons when you're adjacent to an enemy. So you can only take that 5-foot step if that's your only move action. So you can't move and then do that. So that brings up the second type of action, which is a move action. Move actions, you can only take one of these per turn. Move actions include moving up to your speed. So you're going to have a speed on your character sheet. For example, this one is 4 squares, 20 feet. So you can move up to your speed. So 4 squares. You can move diagonal. Now it's a little complicated in that the first time you move, that counts as 1 square. It counts as 5 feet, and then the next one counts as 10 feet. So it would be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, stuff like that. So moving diagonal is a little more complicated, but not too bad. Okay, so that's the move action. You can do one of those per turn. Then you also get the third type of action is a standard action. You get one of those per turn as well. Standard actions include a melee attack, a ranged attack, casting a spell, using a magic item, using your special ability. So basically you're going to, you can move up to your speed and then you can attack, or you can attack and then you can move. You're going to get one move action and one standard action. Oh, another move action is standing up. So if you get knocked down, you're going to have to use your move action to stand up. Let's see, that's free actions, move actions, standard actions. Let me go over a few other things. Flanking bonus, let's talk about flanking bonus. Say this skeleton, you're fighting this skeleton, you're the cleric, and then if the rogue can get behind the skeleton so that you're directly across from each other, then both of your attacks are going to get a +2 bonus because you're flanking. The skeleton's going to have to try to fight both of you. If it's like this, doesn't count. But if it's like that, it does count. So you have to be directly across from each other. Let's see, what else? Charging. Charging is a special ability that kind of combines a move and a standard action. So you have to move at least 2 spaces, and it has to be in a straight line. So you can't, charge like this. But if you move 2 spaces and then attack as a charge, a melee attack, you get a +2 to your attack. But you also get a -2 to your armor class until the end of your next turn. So it makes your attack a little more powerful, but it makes your defenses a little less powerful until the end of your turn. Easier for the enemy to hit you. So that's a charge. Let's see, critical threats. So if you roll for an attack, a 1 is always a failure, but if you roll a 20, it's always a hit. I can't even find a 20, much less roll a 20. There it is. So if you roll a natural 20, then what you're going to do is you're going to automatically hit, but you're also going to have a critical threat. So you're going to roll it again, and you're going to add the same bonuses as your first attack, and if that's also a hit, then you do double damage. And actually some weapons let you do triple damage, and some weapons actually have a critical threat that's greater than just 20. So like some weapons have a critical threat of 18 or 19. So if you roll an 18 or a 19, then you roll again, and if that second roll is also a hit, then you crit and you get double damage as well. Some weapons have ×3 critical damage. So if you do a critical hit with that weapon, you multiply your damage by 3. So pretty powerful stuff. Let's see, that's critical threats, flanking bonus, already talked about, charging, I already talked about that 1's always a failure, 20's always a success. Let's talk about death. Okay, every person's going to have a number of hit points. Every time you get hit, you take damage. You're going to subtract some from that hit points, and I'll keep track of that for you in this game. If you get down to 0, if you're at exactly 0 hit points, you're what's called disabled. So you can either, while you're disabled, you can take 1 move action or 1 standard action on your turn. You can't do both. So you're not dying yet, but you're limited in what you can do. Now, if your hit points are in the negatives, then you are dying. Every turn, you're going to have to you're unconscious, by the way, prone and unconscious, so you don't get any actions on your turn. And every turn you have to make a difficulty 10 con save, or you're going to lose another point. Another hit point, just automatically. You're bleeding out. And to make that a little more difficult, you have to take a negative penalty to that roll based on how many hit points you're under 0. So if I'm at -6 hit points, then I'm going to roll a d20, Then I'm going to add in my con score, which in this case is +1. So I rolled a 5, that's a 6, but I'm at -6 hit points, so I'm going to do -6. So that results in 0, which is less than 10, so I'm going to lose a hit point. Now the only way you can stop that is if for one of your buddies to come and do a heal check on you to stabilize you, basically bandage your wounds, or if you take some magical healing, either from a cleric or from a potion, somebody administers a magical potion to you, something like that, then that'll bring your hit points back up to 0 and stabilize you. So you actually die when your hit points are at a negative value equal to your con score. Now, not your con modifier, that's a little confusing, but let's see, in this example, my constitution score is 12. So if this character hits -12, they're dead. Game over. All right, so those are about all the rules that I think you need to know. We're going to basically run this more as a board game than a role-playing game, so it's going to be mainly combat, mainly moving around, mainly making attacks. So I think I covered everything that I need to talk about. So let's quickly go over the different characters, the different pre-generated characters. Okay, let's look at the different characters. Your options for characters. Option 1, the fighter. This is Valeros, the human fighter. You can see he has that most important of fighter equipment, a ale cup right there on his belt. So you'll never be without a cup while you're in the wilderness to drink ale from. Let's see. As a fighter, you're the main tank. You're the guy that's going to be the toughest and the strongest. You're going to use the best weapons. You're going to use the best armor. You're also going to be good at charging into battle. He gets, let's see. He has improved initiative, which gives him a +4 bonus to initiative. He carries a long sword and a short bow. He has the ability to do a power attack, which means you can say, I use power attack before you do your attack, which will give you extra damage when you use power attack, and that's listed right here. So yeah, that's Valeros, pretty straightforward fighter type guy. Option 2, the rogue. This is Mariciel. She is an elven rogue. She's good at sneaking, doing acrobatics, picking locks, finding traps, discovering secrets, and of course stabbing monsters in the back. She has, let's see, she has a trap finding of +1. She gets a plus D6, extra D6 of damage when she does a sneak attack, which is basically against enemies that are flat-footed, which they haven't acted this turn. She's an elf, so she gets low light vision and keen senses. She also gets big ass pointed ears, you know, if you like that sort of thing. So yeah, that's Mariciel, the elven rogue. Next up, the cleric. This is Kira, cleric of Sarenrae, the sun goddess. She's good at healing people, using magic to protect your allies, using magic to make your allies better. She has a scimitar. She also has, a little holy symbol here and some cool blue robes. She's good at persuading people as well, and she knows secrets about the gods. Let's see, what does she get? She gets Rebuke Death, which means basically like she can make undead things run away. She can do that 6 times per day. She can cast some spells. So her spells, she has Bless, which gives your allies a +1 bonus for 1 minute, which is 10 rounds. She also has Protection of Evil. She can touch an ally and give that ally a +2 bonus to armor class and saving throws against evil creatures for 10 rounds. She can also cast Detect Magic as often as she wants. She can, let's see. So Rebuke Death, I already said, it lets you touch a dying ally and heal him or her for 1d4 hit points. She can also channel energy. This is what I was talking about before. It releases a 30-foot radius burst of divine power and it can either heal living creatures, regain 1d6 hit points, or harm undead creatures. They take 1d6 damage. So, that's the Cleric of Sarenrae, Kira. This is the Wizard. His name is Ezrin the Wizard. He's a human wizard. Oh, I forgot to mention that Kira is a human, by the way. So the wizard is good at blasting enemies with fire, throwing weapons with telekinesis, knowing secrets about magic, and knowing secrets about ancient lore, and using magic scrolls. He gets, of course, his most important thing is his spells. He gets Burning Hands, which creates a cone of fire that extends 15 feet from you, and the creatures in that cone take 1d4 damage. He also gets Magic Missile, which automatically hits. He can do that, shoot that one time, and it does 1d4 plus 1 damage. He can cast Detect Magic and Ray of Frost as often as he wants. Let's see, what else does he get? He has an Arcane Bond, which lets him cast one of his spells one extra time, which is cool. He can also throw his staff up to 30 feet with the power of his mind. That's pretty cool. He rolls a 1d20 plus 3 to try to hit, and if you hit, you roll 1d6 plus 1 damage, and your staff flies back to you automatically. Wow, that's pretty awesome. Yeah, he's also got white hair. So that's Ezrin the Wizard. And the final character is a kind of a bonus character online, so she doesn't have a cool picture or anything like that. But she is Emiri, the human barbarian. She has what's called a rage ability, so she can go into a bloodthirsty rage, and it gives her a +2 bonus on melee attacks, melee damage rolls with thrown weapons, skill checks that use strength. She also gets a +2 bonus on fortitude and will saves when she's raging, but she takes a -2 penalty to armor class, and she can't use bluff, diplomacy, disable device. Yeah, try to disable a device when you're in a bloodthirsty rage, or knowledge skills, or anything that uses patience or concentration. She also gets +2 hit points while she's raging. She can do that. Let me see how many times she can do that. Yeah, it says in here somewhere how. Oh, here it is. She can do 6 times per day, 6 rounds. She can rage. What else does she get? She has a large bastard sword, which, wow, gives 2d8 plus 4 damage. That's huge. And she's got some throwing axes. She can do that power attack thing like the fighter can do. Yeah, so that's Emiri, the human barbarian. Okay. So those are the options. Let's go over them again real fast. The fighter, the rogue, the cleric, the wizard, and the barbarian. So those are your options. You're going to pick one. Now let's roll a d20 for each person and see what order we're going to pick from. So we'll start with Lee. Here we go. A 9. Lee has rolled a 9. Kevin has rolled a 4. Wow, Kevin's starting out with some bad rolls. Jacob, a 3, even worse than Kevin. Doug, 14. Nice. And Chris, a 2. All right, you guys are in trouble because I'm rolling like crap. Okay, so first pick is going to be Doug. Next up is going to be Lee. Then is going to be Kevin, followed by Jacob, and finally Chris. So there's the order. So you guys put what character you want in the comments, and then we will start the adventure with the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.
The adventurer's work is never done. We are the brave companions. As long as there are errands to run, we are the brave companions. Battle's done, we'll raise a cup. We are the brave companions. Rest a while, then level up. We are the brave companions. The spiders to kill, the rats to slay, we'll easily fill a 5-minute